Hey Jesse, how you doing today?
I'm good. Happy Wednesday. How you doing, bud?
Happy Wednesday, my man. Looks like we got a little coaching call action here.
Let's do it.
All
Uh,
right, let's do this.
Today, we're talking about maximizing your conversions with multi-channel follow-up. I know that sounds fancy and sounds crazy, like, whoa, conversions, multi-channel. We're going to be talking about follow-up, but not just, hey, I'm just following up to see, are you still interested? And how can I help you? That works a very, very small amount of time. So we're going to talk about different channels and different methods of communicating with your market, with your leads, to get them to convert and take an action. Okay. So we're going to talk about how agents don't think about their business. Now you should think about it. The Reflex Snows, consistency, nurturing, the different channels, a magic follow-up script, and smart campaigns inside of KV Core. So we're going to dive right into it. First is there is only 3 ways to grow a business, period. I don't care what anybody says. There are only 3 ways to grow your business. You can either, number 1, acquire more customers, like get more clients. Okay. Obviously, you get more clients, your business grows. Number 2, you can increase the average transaction amount. So this is why some agents will be like, hey, I don't sell homes less than $150,000 or X amount, right? Because they want higher price points, which means higher commissions. They want to grow their revenue. They want to grow their business. So the second way to grow your business is to get more, get a higher amount of price points, right? So get listings that are 700,000 or 500,000 or 350 instead of low ticket. And then the third way to grow any business is to get people to hire you over and over again, get them to do more transactions with you. This is why your database is so valuable, because you get people to do more business with you. People move every 7 years and they know people and they already like and trust you. They're going to refer people. You're going to get more transactions, more business, and you grow your business. So those are the only 3 ways to grow your business. You can acquire, ascend, or resell people over and over again. Or like I say, you can get a referral if you can't get them to sell their house every year, right? I'm not going to sell their house every year, but you can get them to refer people to you. So one thing that people miss out when they look at these different ways to grow their business is one of the key components to all of it is following up. I don't care if it's a brand new, fresh lead from Zillow or cold calling or whatever it is, or if it's your database that already exists, you have to follow up with them. And a lot of times we don't follow up because we're like, oh, well, they said no already. So Steve, what did we learn when we started selling? People, we were taught this, right? The Reflex Snow.
The Reflex Snow is a reflex. So I would say of the 50,000 contacts that I've made over my career, I probably hear the Reflex no about 95% of the time. Yet, I would say that I have a much higher conversion rate than 5% of those contacts because of what we learned. And I'm not perfect. I don't do it every time, but I should. If you ask the second and third question, you're typically going to break through that reflex no. That's the key, one of the major keys to cold calling, or cold or very warm sales.
Yeah, even on the follow-up. So when you're calling them again to ask them for business and ask to work with them, they're going to say no. That's a reflex. But one of the common mistakes, Steve, is that I think a lot of people just delete them because they said no one time.
Yeah, things change, circumstances change, as we know in this world, quite frequently. So if somebody, that's the other reason we say if somebody says they're not going to sell anytime in the near future, or they say I'm not going to sell for the next couple of years, you always cut what they say at least in half, if not more, and call them. So if somebody says I'm never going to sell, I wouldn't throw them away. I maybe put them into a CRM like KV Core that's going to follow up with them automatically until they decide to opt out. But if they say they're not going to sell for a year or two, you always put them on a call probably 6 months or less out, because things will change. It happens all the time, Jesse. I can tell you from experience. I talk to expireds all the time. and they say, oh, we're not going to put it back on the market. We're going to wait until the school year ends, or, you know, which is kind of almost a condition, but they even lie about that. We're going to wait until this. We're not going to do anything until next year. Next thing you know, I even put them on my call follow-up for 3 months later instead of 6 or 9, and they've already listed. So what does that tell you? Buyers are liars, sellers are worse. You got to follow up, man.
You got to follow up. Now, what if someone's rude? Like, and they say, never call me ever again.
I don't work with people like that, so I do delete those.
Perfect. So those are the kind of people you want to be deleting. Now, another mistake people I find common in all sales, right, but also in real estate, is there might be saying no because they don't feel like they're getting any value from you. So think about when you make those calls, when you talk to people and follow up, how can you add value and not just, hey, I just want to see, do you want to work with me, basically, right? You want to see how can you serve them? How can you help them? So I try to think of like, I want to find out what your goals are for real estate so we can help you. You want to find out it's about them, not just, hey, me, right? So one of the keys to following up with people, regardless of the channel, is consistency, right? It's not just, hey, I followed up 2 times and I'm not going to call them again. I think when we started, Steve, I think we were taught at least 6 times is like the average to follow up. And our coach, Steve Futch, he even taught us, I get tons, 90 FSBOs deals a year. And he said, I get them on the 6th or 7th follow-up. So
yeah, that's, FSBOs are a little bit different. You're going to have to follow up with them. So it's like 6 to 8 or something like that. But, I know from my experience, I usually leave it at about 3 or 4. Now, I have had a couple of circumstances, but it's very few and far between where I call them on the 5th, 6th, or 7th time. And this is not FSBO. This is other types of leads, any other type of lead. And they end up selling. I would say if you keep it to a maximum of 4, that's probably about right. And why would you quit? Because if you keep calling the same lead over and over more than 4 times, you're just wasting your time. And you're blocking out other potential business that could be coming your way, and you're using it as an excuse to not make more calls because you got that lead, right? I remember that girl, I can't remember her name right now. I probably could if I tried, but she came to the prospecting clinic and she had like a whole briefcase full of leads that she was going to call. And the coach just said, let me see that briefcase real quick. All right, I'm going to give you one chance to call every one of these leads, and everybody that you don't get a hold of, I want you to throw them away. And she freaked out. Well, I can tell you now, after she's been in coaching now for about 10 years, she doesn't do that anymore. And she has a great business, because when you're holding on to those leads, like, there's something,
blanket.
Yeah, it's like a security blanket. It causes you from prospecting other leads. There's 300 million people plus the United States. And I don't know how many deals close every year, but there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Everybody's got the same leads, we were taught, right? Oh, that's the truth. Okay, part of follow-up is really engaging. It's the point is you just want to engage with them. You just want to get in front of them and have another conversation. So it's almost, I know there's certain messages that work better, right? But the point really is just to engage with people. It's to get in front of them and stay top of mind. Okay, so that's why stay consistent. Frequency is another key, right? You're sending something out at least once a month. If they know, hey, I get a market report from Steve every month, cool. Then, man, they know to look out for that, and they know he's adding value and he's staying in touch with them. He's their go-to realtor because he follows up with them. He sends them valuable things. So a KV Core newsletter is a perfect way to just frequently, if you're having trouble with like the frequency of follow-up, send out a once a month newsletter. It's very simple to just put a couple properties in there and say, hey, if you know anybody, this is what's going on in the market. Very, very simple. Take you 30 minutes to an hour to put it together. So you can send market reports, property alerts, valuation reports. These are all things that are of value, but they nurture people. They help you stay in touch with them, and staying top of mind. So, okay, so let's talk about the different channels, right? Steve, how much a follow-up do you do with text message? Do you find yourself doing that more and more, and as the world is mobile now? You're on mute.
Yeah, I definitely send a lot more text messages, and I do a lot more follow-up through text. It's good for, especially mainly for your past clients, center of influence, your database, people that you know. Those are the best people to send text to, but they typically get read, they typically get opened. So, you know, believe me, the phone is still the best way, but text messages are definitely a great way to reach a lot of people quickly.
And if you've already had a conversation with people, it's another channel. It's like, hey, I'm following up on the call that we had the other day, right? So it's an alternative. And there's people that will only respond to you if they get a text. It's just that's the fact of life. People have a preferred method of communication. And if you're only doing it your preferred way, you're going to lose out on a lot of business just because you didn't send a text or didn't send an email instead of just a call, or you didn't call, you just wanted to hide behind your phone and text or your email, right? So that's part of why we're talking about this, is broaden your channels, do multi-channel follow-up, and you're going to find out that a lot of more people are start responding to your messages. Okay, email. A KV Core does so many different types of messages. There's campaigns. You can even do video emails. There's canned messages. A canned message is when so video emails, real quick. Let me just go in order. Video emails is kind of like BombBomb, where you're literally, you record a little video and send it out via email, and they click and watch your video. So if you want to have that face-to-face personal touch with people, that's a great way to talk to people via email, but also video. The campaigns, some people call these autoresponders, some people call them sequences, some people call them campaigns, some people call it dripping on them, nurturing them, whatever you call it, that can all be automated. So you can have people on an automated sequence where they're getting emails every single week, every single month for years at a time. And it's just, some people are just not ready to talk to you. Okay. So Steve, we've noticed this even recently, sending out a communication with people that maybe have been on your list or in your database for years, they now respond, right? Because they're getting frequent messages.
Yeah, it actually, we tried that recently, and there was several people that I haven't talked to in years, and I would call them, and they responded to a text, or they responded to an email, and then a bunch of them also responded to a voicemail, and it was probably a few people that I just, you know, forgot were on one of my lists.
Yeah.
But they actually called back, you know, so.
Just doing a different channel, right?
Yeah, it's important to mix it up every once in a while, because unless you know for a fact everybody is seeing it and opening it, you know, but even then you might not get a response, and they may respond to a different form of communication.
And with emails, the nice thing is you can do canned messages. So canned messages is a template that you always say the same thing. Maybe every summer you always tag in with people and say, hey, I hope your summer's great. Real estate activity is always busier, you know, this time of year it seems, so wanted to stay in touch. You can have that as a canned template that you send. And then you can additionally personalize it. So it says, hey, and then you put in brackets, first name. And I went through this in detail with the KV Core training a couple of weeks ago. You could say in brackets, first name, and then your rest of your message. So then now that email is personalized, where it says, hey, John, hey, Sally, hey, Fred. All of those emails are personalized, but they get the same message. So you can use canned messages. You can also do those in Gmail or your email. Didn't even have to use KV Core to do that. And then another thing with emails, again, like I said, sending out a newsletter monthly. Agents that send out a weekly newsletter, they get a lot more business than people that send it out monthly. You just got to have, what you know what you're going to send out weekly, right? Do you have enough listings? Are you going to share other listings? Okay, cool. Voice, and Steve just hinted at this. Now, way back when we started, Steve, do you remember slide dial? Did you ever do slide dial?
Rarely, but we did it recently.
Yeah, slide dial it's cool because you're basically sneaking into their voicemail, but their phone doesn't ring. So that's why it's called sly, right? It's like they're getting a voicemail. They're like, oh, did I have a missed call? I got a voicemail. And they open their phone, they got a voicemail, and it's you, right? Just dropping a voicemail directly to their phone instead of making just a call. So you can leave
I definitely got some callbacks on that one.
Yeah, those were great. Obviously, voice. Now, Steve does this very efficiently. He makes calls all day long when he's driving. So you can saying, oh, I didn't have the time, or I didn't do it. You can make calls. Isn't that what you do, Steve? You like,
Yeah.
put a headset or Bluetooth on?
Yeah, we recommend that. So don't be safe. We recommend making calls. Would you rather be safe or rich? That's what I got to say. I'd rather be rich.
And you have Bluetooth. Like, come on. What cars do not have Bluetooth now, right? Any cars made in the last like 8 years, they have Bluetooth. So make your follow-up calls. You can pick 3 people every day from your database or your list and say, you know what, I'm going to call these when I'm driving to get gas, when I'm getting lunch, when I'm driving to the office, when I'm driving home from wherever, picking up the kids, or on my way to pick up the kids. Make 2 or 3 calls right there. And then Steve hinted at this voice drop or a voice blast. Inside of KV Core, they have this feature where you can mass drop a voicemail on everybody. So it's like slide dial, but it's for the masses. You can say, hey, I want to send out a 30-second, hey, hope you guys are safe, hope you're doing well. And you send out that message to everybody and it drops on their phone. And Steve got some good feedback and good calls from people on that. So the point of this is multi-channel. Don't just think, hey, I followed up with them 5 times and they're not interested. Did you try voice? Did you try voicemail? Did you try text? Did you try an email? Did you send out a newsletter? Broaden your scope of the channels and the methods that you follow up with people. Now, there's some very cool magic 9-word follow-up. I've seen this in every industry. I've seen this on people talking about marketing, Gary V, all these, Tom Ferry, everybody, they've talked about this 9-word follow-up. And it basically is a message that says, are you still thinking of taking an action or something like that, right? It's very simple. Are you still thinking of moving to Florida? And that's it. Your question mark, you don't call to action. If so, give me a call. Love to talk to you. Just leave it at that. The subject line would say, quick question. And if it's for a buyer, you could say, are you still, buying a home soon? Are you still thinking of buying in such and such city? For sellers, it could be, are you still thinking of selling your home soon? For your database, it could be, hey, can I buy you, I got a quick question. Can I buy you coffee this week? If you send this out, I promise you, you'll get more responses than anything else you've ever sent. If you have never sent these, we've sent this with Steve's list. We get a lot of people responding. 9-word, please take a picture of this, screenshot this, because this is the best, most simplest, effective follow-up message you can ever send. Obviously, you don't send it every time, but send this once. Quick question. Are you still thinking of X? Are you still planning on X? So I say it's magic because it is. It works. So, smart campaigns. Next thing here. When it comes to multi-channel, KV Core has all this built in. How much does this cost, Steve, for EXP agents?
It's pretty expensive, $0.
No excuse. You don't need a $2.99 a month, $1.99 a month, this or that. It's built in, and it's probably one of the most robust and powerful platforms I've seen for following up and engaging with people. It has voice, it has email, has text. It also has tasks. So Steve, on your phone, you're getting alerts, right? It says like, hey, you need to follow up with this person, right? It's a reminder. That's all built in. It's all trying to get you to follow up in different ways. Call this person, email this person, and it's also automatically doing this. In fact, let me pull open my other screen here. Let's see here. Where's my KV Core? Let me pull this up. Okay, so this is when I say a smart campaign. If you guys log in, can you guys see this, my screen?
Yes.
Does it show KV Core here? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is a smart campaign. So when we say multi-channel follow-up, this smart campaign is designed to stay in touch with people in all these different messages. So right here, methods. Down in the middle, it shows the method: text, email, task, call, everything we're talking about. So if you log into KV Core and you go to marketing smart campaigns, this is one that's called conversation starter for buyer leads. And it's a 7-day conversation starting campaign. There's all types of different campaigns, but the point is they're going to get a text message. They're going to, the system's going to send an email. Then it's going to give you a task. Hey, make sure that you set up this, make sure you set up their alerts properly. Then it's going to say, hey, make a phone call. So the system will prompt you, hey, you need to call this person. You haven't called, have you called them yet? So now you're covering all of your different bases and different methods and different channels of communication when it comes to follow-up. It's not, KV Core is not just going to send 10 emails in a row. That would be, again, that would be defeat the purpose of what we're talking about and not being effective. You want to send a text message, you want to send an email, you want to do a task, make sure you set them up on alerts. You want to call them? Cool. We'll remind you to call them. Now, somebody might be thinking, what do I say? What does the email say? It shows you right here, a preview. This is what the text message is. Hey, first name, thanks for looking at some properties on my site a few minutes ago. Are you actively thinking about a move or just browsing for now? Now, that's a very simple, effective. It's got a good call to action. It's asking them a question so that they'll engage and respond back. So now you don't have to think about what am I going to send them. Same thing with emails. Hey, thanks for landing on our website. If you'd like to share some details about your search, I'd be happy to do a little research. Very simple and effective follow-up message. And then here's a task. So this is an alert that KV Core is going to send you as the agent. It's going to say, hey, you can set up property alerts. Okay. So all of those are great things to do. If you have a specific lead that needs to get followed up with on one of those specific types of follow-ups, whether it be a market report or a property alert, you can do that from your dashboard here as well. You just click on a lead. Inside of a lead on the far right hand side, on every lead, it shows this, all the different types of alerts: property alert, market reports, and listing valuations. So those are 3 types of automated alerts that are not a campaign. It just sends them out. Hey, anytime property matches their criteria, it sends them alerts. So this person is getting 2-bedroom, 2 baths. They're looking, this is for a rental they're looking for. They're going to get followed up with automatically with these property alerts. Now, if they own a home, you can set them up on a listing valuation, right? You click on this, you put in the address, and it will send them a valuation report, just like a Zestimate, but it looks like nicer and cleaner, in my opinion. Market report. A market report is for a specific area. So anybody in Naperville you talk to, or any city that you're in, hey, what area are you in? Oh, I'm in Chicago. Okay, cool. Type in Chicago. And it's going to pop up. Should pop up. Or my computer's running slow. There you go. Chicago. And they can pick neighborhoods, all kinds of stuff. I can say they want to get a market report for all the real estate activity in the city of Chicago, and I want to send it to them every 28 days. Click add. Boom. They're going to start getting emailed a market report every 28 days. Great way to follow up with people because you're adding value. It's like, oh yeah, I got the market report. Thanks, appreciate that.
Well, so that market that market report is specific to their house?
No, it's specific to the market area.
Okay.
So you can tailor it to a very specific neighborhood. You can do it for a whole city. It's really, really cool. So we send these out to people. Right now we have one of our team members calling and asking people, would you like to get a market report? Would you like to get property alerts for a certain area or certain criteria? And do you own a home? Oh, you do. Would you like to get a listing evaluation? So we're calling, asking them, do you want any of these things of value? There's no cost, no obligation, and it's all automated. Very, very good. So any of those 3 things you can set up. The campaigns, oops, I just sent them one. I added them. I'm gonna delete it because they didn't ask for that. So you can ask them, do you want to get property alerts, which would be just like any of these other major billion-dollar companies that send them property alerts. They could come from you. So add them here. It shows this person's getting these alerts. These are the properties that they're getting sent. Here's all their criteria. I can edit that. Great way to have a phone call follow-up. Hey, I see you're getting alerts for properties in Naperville that are 3-bedroom, 2 bath. Do you want me to make any, or 2 bedrooms, 2 baths? Do you want me to make any adjustments to that? Boom, make adjustment here and say, okay, cool. And I'll have that sent out. It's getting sent out daily. Is that good for you? Do you want twice a week? Okay, so when we say smart campaigns, that's what we're referring to in KV Core. They're sending them out for you guys every single every single week without you having to do anything. All right. I know I covered a lot of ground.
Awesome.
What questions? Anybody have any questions? If not, you can always leave a comment below the video or shoot us an email. We do have weekly events. There's the Illinois Mastermind. That's going to be happening every month, and you should get an email or alert for that. Go to extrememastermind.com to register for that. All the other events we have, whether it's prospecting calls, you can jump on those, and any trainings we do.
Rick, I'll see you tonight, man.
Bam.
Sure.
All right,
I'll
man.
be there.
Talk to you guys later. Thanks, Jesse.
6
Cheers,
o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You.